Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to World of Tanks. This is a replay, of course, of the SU-100, a Tier 6 Soviet tank destroyer. I think we're going... No, apparently that is full speed, it just looks really quick. Anyway, SU-100 is a good vehicle, it has a nice punchy gun. You can either use a more accurate, lower average damage 100mm, or you can use this standard Russian 122mm gun with quite a low rate of fire but a nice amount of average damage, and if you're fighting against tier 4s you may be able to one-shot kill them if you're lucky. Anyway, this video isn't just about the SU-100, the video is about the map Fiery Salient or Prokhorovka, but in this instance it's Fiery Salient because there's a aesthetic of the map where a battle's been raging. Now, this isn't my favourite map in the game, even on standard mode, because one of two things happen. You either have people camping on the west side of the map, and people camping on the hill, or you just have a rush of people, but that rarely ever happens. Normally it's just a camp first, this map, especially on the western side where that Cromwell is, if you can see in the minimap. And that isn't fun gameplay, and a lot of maps in World of Tanks have had this problem in terms of people just camp because they do not want to be spotted first. And I'll show you what I mean in a third-person camera. So if we just go over towards the western side of the map now, once I get into the right camera, here we go. So we just speed on up a little bit. I mean, the map looks very nice, as do most of the World of Tanks maps, especially in the more recent versions. But anyway, Prokhorovka / Fiery Salient has been around for a long time, and it's had some changes. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be. I do remember the times where it used to be really bad, but it has had some changes. Anyway, here's the western side of the map, and most of you will know what I'm about to say if you've played any number of games on this. So if I was to spawn over here on the enemy side, in this instance I would, not go through the middle of the map, I would go west, and then depending if I was a light tank I would go all the way over here, spot for my team either by sitting here depending on my view range, or if I'm lucky right up to this bush, then everyone else would sit back towards those bushes there. And then the inverse happens for the enemy team. People sit in this bush here, or here, usually. Some do sit in the lower end here. And then there's all these tank destroyers all the way back at the end of the map here, and some artillery sometimes. And usually what happens is either one team decides to crawl forward and then get obliterated by tank destroyers, or alternatively it happens from this side. It's not really fun gameplay. And additionally, I was going to say, you see where this T-34 is, if he was to go over the top of here he would get completely obliterated by any friendlies or enemies depending on what side you'd spawned on this side. And the same for if this OI Experimental, which is the tier 5 Japanese heavy tank, recently added, they would get obliterated too, especially because of the size. Now, that's on a standard game and everyone knows how frustrating that can be. But this map has a bigger problem on encounter, which I am playing, and that is people in the cap zone. People love to just rush here and cap out, and it's a really boring game. And that's pretty much what happens in this match. If we return back to our SU-100, I thought there may have been some aggressive play on the hill, so I went back a bit towards the islands, this island back there, because the SU-100, being a Russian vehicle, has quite poor gun depression. So when that didn't turn out for the better, I decided to push on up, and try and use this gun. and we spotted 2 enemies. One of them is a OI down there, and this is a VK3601H. And that's half his health gone. And he's dead. And that turned out a lot better than normal. So we push back up. You can see the base is being captured right now, and right now I'm not too worried because it's about half and it's forcing the enemies back. Got a side shot on a Dickimax. As soon as I do that I'm spotted. I mean, I have been spotted anyway. And this SU-100 is not paying attention. We get hit by a couple of rounds. One I believe was a HE. We're getting shot from the right hand side. We just got hit in the front as well. Our ammo rack was damaged, so we repair everything. Get hit down to 9 HP. Fire the birch gun. Tier 4 British artillery. And now you can see the capture zone is almost fully capped out, and only 4 enemies have died and 2 on our team have died. But somebody decides to leave the cap, so the game goes on a bit longer. And so we can try and use our gun again. Enemy SU-100 is also using the 122 because you saw that Easy 8 just got half his health removed. So going on the hill there would be likely suicide. So I'll try and use this bush. See if I can fire from stealth. It's unlikely, but we'll see. Very nice damage into the Hellcat. And by the way, this gun has a 10-second reload with fence and a gun rammer and 100% crew. Not with Brothers in Arms, however, so you can get it faster to reload, as well as a premium consumable. And I'm just going to slow it down here. We've basically won. 10 to 5, there's only 5 of them left, we have 10 vehicles. But somebody, the Hellcat on our team, is just going to cap. And it's not fun for anyone. We do manage to get one more shot. And that's it. Game over. Really, really quite dull. So to conclude, do you share my opinion on this map? Do you think it needs some drastic changes to make it more fluid, make the map play more dynamically, make the gameplay in general more exciting? Or are you of the opinion that I'm talking a load of shit? You may well agree, and you may well disagree. It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. I just think the placement of this capture circle is kind of a bit bad. And on normal maps, everyone who goes along the west just has a lovely campfest. So I don't know what you might think, but those were my thoughts. I might call this video a Fiery Salient rant video, because it pretty much is. So yeah, we'll have to see. Tell me what you think regardless, it would be quite interesting to know. And also, additionally, before I go, tell me what you think of the SU-100. Do you think it's a decent enough vehicle for Tier 6? Do you think it has its glaring weaknesses, or do you think that 122 Russian gun is more than effective? Tell me your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, the rant that it was, tell me by giving me a like or in the comments. And additionally, I'll be making more of these replays, as well as fort videos about World of Tanks and World of Warships, along with other games. So if you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic too. As always, I've been Geogen, this has been World of Tanks on the Fiery Salient, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.